Welcome to Business Barbells and Boobs, where we talk about navigating life as lifters, business owners, and being women in a male-dominated industry. I'm Christy, and today I'm interviewing my co-host, Brittany Diamond.
Hi.
Okay, anyway, we just got done actually with an awesome interview with Travis Ortmeyer. Super just emotional, inspiring, and all that stuff. But we are going to talk now about Brittany's competition over the weekend, her comeback on the bodybuilding stage. So, how you feeling?
I feel awesome. It is Wednesday. I competed on Saturday and I was in prep for half the year. So I am grateful that it's the holiday season. I now have a bunch of fun things planned and I'm so happy with how the contest went. Like I couldn't ask for anything more. And I don't have the post contest blues because I've been in prep for so long and I've competed so much in other sports that I kind of know how to navigate that post contest blue phase. So, yeah, it's cool to talk to me as a mature athlete because this is the best I've ever felt after any big event.
Yay, I can tell. Just kind of how, like, just from like your posts and how just happy you look in all your photos and like your recent photo shoot. But my biggest question, it's not really my biggest question, it's just a joke. Did you get a pumpkin spice drink at any point recently or pumpkin spice things? I know you wanted to get pumpkin spice
No,
something.
you know what's so funny? I didn't, but I had my favorite meal last night, which was a
Uh-huh.
bison burger with provolone cheese, fig butter. So like fig and pumpkin are like the same to me. So I did that, and then I baked cookies. I'm going to a cookie contest tonight that I put a bunch of cinnamon and pumpkin and stuff in it. So yeah, I wasn't really food focused, honestly, like I have been. So that's something to be proud of too in the bodybuilding world. So
Well, what do you think that's attributed to? Is it just you
healthy
weren't
prep,
starving as much or your mindset?
a healthy prep for
Hmm.
sure. I had prepped in the past, and I was treating myself like a bikini competitor when I was 180 pounds. Shrunk down to like 150, lost a lot of muscle, just didn't do things right. So when when you're truly starving, yeah, your brain's gonna do some weird things when it comes to food.
Yeah.
So I was really happy to not be so food focused.
Well, take us through the day of the show because you ended up actually competing in two categories. So take us
Yes.
through that decision and also just like how you felt and how that whole day went.
Yes. So I signed up for nationals weeks ago when I qualified and registered for women's physique because that's what I qualified in. I won the overall at Legions at the end of September. And once you qualify, you can always do multiple categories. It's actually pretty popular, especially for the smaller categories. Like you'll see a girl who isn't sure if she fits better in with figure or wellness. And then once you get a pro card, you can actually choose which division you do. As long as you qualify, under the NPC, so under that federation, you then have free round to choose what division you do. And again, we have mostly strongman fans listening. So for the NPC women's side, we have several categories. We have bikini, and I'm going in order from smallest to biggest, least muscle to most muscle. So bikini, and then next up you have figure, wellness, physique, bodybuilding. So there's 5 different categories. It's funny because beginning of this prep, I was teeter-tottering between figure and physique because I had taken, and anyone who I shared the stage with was laughing their asses off that I had taken a full year off, exactly 1 year prior to competing of upper body training. So I was kind of teeter-tottering between figure and physique. I ended up choosing physique because figure you have to wear heels, and I would still have to morph my upper body a little bit, get it a little bit smaller. But also, I just didn't feel, to me personally, this is not a stab. I have utmost respect for every single category. It is hard. I just didn't feel as athletic wearing heels on stage. And then also the poses for figure are more like pretty, like your hip swaying, you're walking, you're kind of flaring your hands a little bit. Physique was very similar, but a little bit different than bodybuilding, where we have similar poses, where there's certain differences. Our hands have to be open and flared a certain way to showcase that we are physique. Because if you look at physique versus bodybuilding, physique, you have a little less glute striation, not as much muscle definition, and you're not overall as hard. So, hearts on physique. I felt like I was made for physique looking at Olympians and my general structure. But over the past 3 years, I kind of had it in the back of my head that maybe one day, if I was lucky enough and in a good place, I could compete again. So when I took a year off training upper body, I was concentrated so hard on my skinny little legs because your girl, if you look at old pictures of me when I did strongman, I am all traps and back. My legs are lacking. I don't know why. I think it's because I did endurance sports. I'm a hiker, but it is hard for me to grow muscle on those babies. And I got my legs pretty damn big, about 5 inches on the quads in the past 3 years. And I take a lot of pride in that because I coached myself. I did a lot of adductors. I did this without hurting my back too. Sometimes it would flare up. Had to actually take a back seat from my favorite stuff, which is back squat and front squats, because the strongman in me, my body loves strongman. Like, I feel like I was made for that sport. My body just loves to lift things with my upper back. So even on like a barbell squat, you'll see I don't utilize my legs that much. So I had to say goodbye to some of my favorite lifts. And that's when I started really liking the training, because I was like, okay, it felt more scientific for why I was choosing a specific exercise, not just to be strong. So, anyways, long story short, it was last Tuesday, so 8 days ago. Anthony and I are doing our last easy push session because we're on deload and we're posing. And two of my professional bodybuilding friends here, who both have stepped on the Olympia stage and placed well, looked at me last week and they were like, I'm not going to lie, Brittany, like, your structure, you put on so much size just in the last 10 weeks, like, you could be a bodybuilder. And in my head, I'm like, looking at them, I'm like, their physiques are so hard, so amazing. Like, I didn't see myself in that light. And then I told Anthony, I'm like, I kind of want to just try the poses. And I can't tell you, when I did a front double bicep for bodybuilding, so for physique, just to explain the difference, I can send you a picture. For physique, you can choose the front double bi you do, and I always, with my structure, chose to take my right leg and cross over to try to give me more of like a tapered structure and try to hide a little bit of my waist just to give it more of that X frame. And then you do this with the hands. I did the front double bicep, and I can't tell you how much more natural it felt, because it felt like I was a little kid again. Because when I was a little kid, every single pose of me as a 5-year-old is like this with my brothers. I'm always throwing up an arm. And then I have an impingement in my left side of my body from rowing, strongman, broken wrist, just like my left side of my lat. Like, I want to just take a steamroller and roll it out. So for the past couple of years, I've really been concentrating on trying to get my lats to flare, because when I'm on stage, like, if you see me doing a pull-up, you're like, holy shit, that girl has some back. Then when you see me pose, it kind of goes away. My traps overtake it, and just like so many years of like injuries and not training for aesthetics kind of limit that. So anyways, I did a back double bi and a lat spread, which is something we don't have in physique. And I was like, holy shit, there's my back. There's my back. So I was like, fuck it. And I looked at Anthony. I'm like, can I still sign up? He's like, I think so. I went right on and signed up. And I was like, cool, guess I'm doing this. Yeah. And I'm so excited that I did both, because, like I said, I want to stick with bodybuilding. I haven't gotten the official judges' feedback yet, but I did both. And yeah, so that was that.
Yeah, and so you liked bodybuilding more when you're on stage?
For
Okay.
sure.
And so now that's going to give you kind of like future goals and plans. Like, I know you haven't gotten the coach's feedback, but like, what do you think you need to do to improve in bodybuilding now? Like,
I,
now that you
I
like,
think
it's like a weird switch, you know, like now you're like, oh man, I have to work on some other things,
I think that's my
right?
favorite part, and it just shows that I have really fallen in love again with
Hmm.
lifting and building muscle. It's like, okay, cool. Now there's no cap because for women's physique, I
Hmm.
had to be a little careful. Like, I don't need much more size. With bodybuilding, there's really no limit, and it's exciting to me because it's a subjective sport and there's going to be different trends, and throughout the years you're going to see like different styles and stuff, but I think I have a really good look for women's bodybuilding, and I can all like my back and my legs, like everything needs to be bigger, and that excites me because that's going to really make me push my training in a different way. And now the part of the sport that I didn't like the most, posing, because I just kind of
Right.
always felt a little silly. Now I'm like, oh, I can't wait to hit a front double by bodybuilding style.
Yeah, I mean, it's just so cool when you kind of make those realizations. I'm like, yeah, that would be awesome if she like did bodybuilding and now you have an opportunity to like grow too. Like that's cool. Like that'll be fun and different, you know? I mean, have you ever done anything like that? Like try to pack on, a lot more muscle or
That's for my lower body. Like, if anything, my
hmm
upper body, I've always tried to, like, past couple of years, chill out
hmm
on. Um, but yeah, and then you wanted me to talk about contest day, which was, I think, always having competed in such like stressful sports. Now, a lot of people think bodybuilding is stressful. You have to nail the look, you have to nail your peak. But for me, the fact that I go into contest day and I'm not worried about leaving with a surgery I'm going to need or an injury. That to
hmm
me just takes all the stress away. And I'm like,
hmm
you have to own you have to believe that you look good, because it's like you've done all this work and now it's just about showing it off. So contest day for me is pretty fun. I choose. I'm one of the only people. I don't let anyone touch me. I get my tan done, but I like to do my own hair
hmm
and makeup just because it's part of the ritual. And that's part of what I love. Like, I love being girly. I love picking out my jewelry, putting my routine together. So contest day, obviously I went in with the goal of getting a pro card. And I remember specifically the feeling in 2016. I was at the Arnold, and that's the year I should have gotten a pro card. Like, they just made the pro class the year before. Everyone knew I
hmm
was on the cusp, and I made a stupid little technical error where I didn't place the keg on the mat, and it cost me first place to like fifth, so I didn't get a pro card, and that was so devastating. And I thought I would feel like that going to nationals and not leaving with a pro card, but I was just so happy with the package I brought, the fact that I improved that much, and the fact that my last prep, which you came over and interviewed me for, that prep, I just started to believe in myself again. So I had 10 weeks where I really felt like I was a bodybuilder, or competing at nationals. Like, I had 10 weeks. These girls have been living for this for years. And
hmm
just to be able to stand next to them and get first call outs and place, I got fourth in both categories. So obviously the competitor in me is like, okay, I can always do better. But I think being a mature athlete, I took that and I'm like, I'm really fucking proud of placing top five at the hardest show. And they call nationals like the Super Bowl of bodybuilding, because there are other routes to get your pro card, which
hmm
I can go into later if you want me to. But I didn't want to get an easy pro card. Like, I wanted to go against the best and see where my physique stacked up, and I did that, and I'm really happy. So
Yeah, I truly believe too, it's just like such the right time for you because you have such good support now. And then, like you said, being a mature athlete, being able to have like that mindset of like, because the reality is holy shit, you got fourth at nationals and you're like just now, like, really, like, just got serious about this. So it's just like, if anything, just exciting and motivating. And like, I think I've heard you on Instagram post saying like you found like passion again. And that's just
yeah,
exciting in general. Like, so now you have this new like goal and like an actual like path that you're going to go
yeah,
through. And I'm really glad that this all happened now because it's like, you're able to be like, yeah, I looked awesome and I did awesome. And like, guess what? The next show is gonna be even better. Like, that's just cool. Like to be in that position.
it is cool, and there's no like time cap where for strongman I always felt rushed,
Hmm.
like because of injuries and just age
Hmm.
and also time commitment. Like, yes, bodybuilding is like a lifestyle, as they would say, but like time commitment wise, like I was training on Saturdays for 8 hours a day when I did strongman and like watching my videos like a hawk. Like I lived and breathed it. So
Hmm.
bodybuilding feels like something I can actually have more of a life, which might
Hmm.
sound crazy. But I really enjoy all aspects that go into it. And it's funny. I think the biggest realization for me for this show that has been really eye opening was I always approached bodybuilding before as kind of just like a bucket list thing, something I wanted to do, see if I could do. My first prep 3 years ago nearly killed me when I was eating. I had to recover from it for 2 years, lost half my hair, and I wasn't even abusing steroids or anything. That was simply just overdoing cardio, not eating enough, and also approaching it like I didn't give a fuck if I had to pay for the repercussions. It was just an overarching goal that I had chased for so long that outside forces of life, I felt robbed of being able to go on stage because of having surgery, because of COVID and things like that. So, anyways, where I was going with that was I didn't know. It's kind of like a relationship, right? Everyone has their first heartbreak and they're like, oh, I'm never going to find love like that again. It's safe to say that I love bodybuilding as much as I love strongman. Like, and I never ever thought I would be able to say that because strongman was my life. Like, I owe everything to it. I wouldn't work for myself. If it wasn't for strongman, I wouldn't have the best friends in the world that I do. I wouldn't, like, everything like came from strongman. And to be able to have that kind of love for a new sport is really special because I always kind of had this notion in my head that like, oh, I'm too old. I'm in my 30s now. It's time to move on. I'm washed up. Like, let's move on to the next thing, Brittany. You should be having kids and a family now. And I feel like I can do all that while still pursuing bodybuilding. So I'm really excited to have
Hmm.
just something that fuels me through life and makes me want to be better.
Yeah, and you know what's funny is that I get that although like I've always marched like the beat of my own drum, but I'm still like a victim to just a little bit of just societal norms or thinking of like what people should think that you should be or do just because sometimes like some guilt or shame or like just little feelings come in but you posted something the other day because I don't really care what people think but sometimes I do. I'm human.
Yeah,
But you
of
posted
course.
something that the other day of like, oh, like why I said it was like, why be normal? I was like born to be different and original. And I forgot the exact words, but I was like, yeah, like that's what I think Brittany is. She's just someone who's like going to do everything she does to the fullest and really be herself. And just like, I think that bodybuilding, right, can like helps you is a way you can really showcase that too and have fun with that.
Yeah,
And I'm
I
so
feel like,
excited for you. It just
yeah,
made me feel like, because bodybuilding, like, think about it, is very different. Okay. Like, women with muscles, like your photo shoots are creative and different, but you're like, I don't give a fuck. Like, this is so, and that's what makes it cool. That's why I look at them and go, that's awesome. It's because it's different. Um,
yeah,
I don't know really where I'm going with this. I just think that like this is like a really good avenue, like just a good choice for you to like pursue because it seems like it's really making you happy and goes back to just like, hey, why be normal? I'm going to go all in on something and do what I like and what makes me happy. And it's okay if it's not on anyone else's timeline. Because I'm also subject to like, oh, I'm 34. Because everyone else is like, I'm getting old, and they're like 30. They're like, I'm achy. I can't even do strong anymore, and they're like 30. And I'm like, well, I'm 34. So it starts making me thinking like, am I too old for this? Do I need to move on from this? Is this, But hell, just do what you like to do, you know?
yeah, exactly. No, I love that you shared that. That's exactly how I feel. And then, all right, so I'll get into, there's always like a hard part of the contest. So I'll get into like the hard parts.
Okay, okay.
It was probably one of the, like, in my head at the time, I was like, this is the most embarrassing moment of my life. I wanted to just die and disappear because when you're half
Uh-huh.
naked, you're a little bit more vulnerable. So,
Okay.
anyway, so morning show prejudging was about like an hour and I had the two categories. So, I did, bodybuilding was first. Yeah. And then I got off stage and then did my physique, and I was super happy with how everything went. I felt really confident, all that. Okay. So you have a couple hours in between, you come back for finals. At finals is the judges already know what the placing is. Sometimes it does matter if there's like a close call or if it's like the Olympia or something, but for the most part, like unless you come back looking like absolute like shit, you did something stupid, you pretty much kind of like have an idea of where your placing is just based on where they presented you. Again, not always. And I didn't know. I thought, to be honest, I thought I got second or third. So, anyways, they told me so only the top 5 from each category do a 60-second routine to their posing choice. So they told me, look, you got top 5 in both. Do you want to do 2 routines? And I'm like, no. There was another girl next to me who also placed top 5 in both. We were both like, hell no. We have the same, because we both had only prepared 1 routine. Like, why would I want to go do the same song in the same routine? They're like, okay, cool. The judges were like, no problem. I don't blame you. Who would want to do 2 routines? Fast forward to all of a sudden I'm behind the stage. In my head, I have about 15 minutes till I have to go on. They start running out to me and the girl who I became friendly with, who did physique and bodybuilding too. They're like, sorry, the way the time cap is working, you need to do your routine. So I like have a mini panic attack because I'm like, okay, like what's my routine? Because now I can't do the physique poses that I've been practicing in my bodybuilding routine. So I'm like, okay, shit, I just gotta make up one. Like, all right, whatever. And it's the same song. And I was kind of embarrassed because I usually, and you know this from my last interview, picking the song is the deepest, most important part of the contest for me. So I had a song picked out for like months, and like the lyrics resonated with me, all that. And I don't know why, but at the end, I was like, I'm having so much fun with this. I want to pick something fun and not so serious. So I picked a Christmas song. I did
Oh my gosh.
Santa Baby by Gwen Stefani, and I brought like a sparkly Christmas hat that matched my suit. And I'm like, cool, I can wear this on stage. It'll be super cute. The crowd will think it's fun. Yada, yada, yada. Right before I go on, they're like, yeah, you can't wear your hat. That's a prop. I'm like, all right, fuck it, whatever. So I'm behind the curtain and I hear my song. So I start walking out and I'm doing my routine with the bodybuilding poses. And I turn around and I did a back lat spread. In my mind, just like, I forgot what was next. Like I usually I know that I'm supposed to put my right foot down, do a half split, do an archer pose, and it just went kind of blank. And I tried to play it off, and Anthony said no one would ever have been able to tell, but like my right calf started cramping and shaking because I was so nervous. Like I felt so embarrassed because it's like you're half naked, like you're naked,
Yeah.
dancing in front of a fucking crowd. So I got off stage and just wanted to die. I was just like, I am so fucking over this. I can't believe I have to do another one in a couple minutes. I'm so over this. Like, I just wanted to cry. But I took a deep breath and I was just like, no, you don't want negative energy to spew on other competitors that are also nervous and excited. So just deal with it. I was actually going to go get my phone and text Anthony and tell him, like, how bad did I fuck up? And I was like, don't go touch your phone. Just start closing your eyes. Like, at least now I have my physique routine that I know and I'm gonna make up for. It wasn't even a fuck up, but in my mind it was because I felt so defeated. So I get ready to do my physique routine, which I did kill. But right before I go on stage again, the DJ's like, "Sorry, ma'am, I forgot what song is it?" He's like, "Is it this song?" And it was like some song I've never even heard of, and I was like, "No, it's not." So so at this point it had been like probably about a minute, and they're like calling my name, waiting for me, and there's no music. So I'm like, "Here we go again." But whatever. They ended up playing the song. I did the routine. I killed it. But as soon as I was done, I was like, okay, like I'm ready for
Yeah.
the day to be over.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Everyone has like that nightmare where they're like on stage, they end up like in their underwear, and you're like, oh wait, that's like what I'm actually doing.
That was the moment. Yeah,
Oh
I
my
felt really
gosh.
defeated. I felt just stupid, and I know no one cared, but in my mind, I actually like thank God I had a tan because when I have panic attacks, I start to get hives on my chest, and I had a lot of hives on my chest.
Really? Oh my gosh. but like now the jitters off, you feel like the next time you go up there on stage, you'll like be like, all right, I got this,
Well, they
like,
also said they would never have to, they would never make us do two routines again. Like that was just a weird thing because of like the time cap. But like to
yeah,
have to do the same routine twice is just very odd. Like I've never seen that at a bodybuilding
right.
show.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. So the goal now is still a pro card, but now a pro card in bodybuilding.
Yeah, like I said, I'm gonna wait to get the official judges' feedback. Like maybe I'll
Hmm.
do both. Maybe I still can do both. It's just more fun for me to. I'll very clearly be an open heavyweight bodybuilder, which is super cool because there's no time limit. Actually, I weighed in, so when I was weighing in, anything over 140 is a heavyweight. So I didn't take off my shoes or my jacket or anything, and I weighed in at 180, which is so funny because in strongman I was a middleweight and I had to weigh in
Yeah.
under 180, and I was like, holy shit, I'm like 5% body fat at 180 pounds. This is
Yeah.
cool. So
Yeah, that is awesome. That's so crazy. And you feel like, I mean, obviously your body composition is going to be different now than like in strongman, but it's just cool to see someone who's on stage now. Um, a lot of your body was built lifting heavy weights, and it's just so cool. And like doing like crazy feats of strength, like high rep squats. And I just like know that you're like the person who trains the hardest and everything like that. But what's cool too is like now you're training, you can actually focus on stuff that's not going to like injure you and all that. So I just think it's just such a cool avenue and
yeah,
new journey for you.
yeah, it was cool to be by far be the biggest on stage too. Like all the girls after, like one of the girls came up to me and she was young and she's like, your leg is just like three times the size. She was in bodybuilding too. She's like, your leg, it's insane how big it is. Like, how long have you been doing this? Like, and then she was like, don't take this the wrong way. She's like, but your face and when you talk, you're so pretty. She's like, judging by your side, I would have thought you were like taking a lot of stuff. And I was like, nope, I've just been doing this for well over half my life now. So it was cool to be the biggest person. Like, yes, I clearly need to work on flaring my lats because that was my biggest weakness. Everyone else had an X frame and I looked like from the front, I had no lats. And my lats are huge. So just learning how to activate those and pop those, like the day it clicks, it's gonna click. It's been happening slowly, but I'm excited for that to work on that. So yeah.
Yeah, no, this is perfect for you. I'm so excited to see where you take this.
Thank you.
And yeah, what a fun surprise, bodybuilding.
Yeah. So my plan going forward now is it's almost the holidays, so I've been reversing. And, my body is so tired from being in such a caloric deficit for 6 months. So it's cool because now I still have my low days, but every day I'm adding a little bit more calories. And then like last night I did another free meal and tonight I'll do it. So I plan around life. Like I'm not, again, I have a good relationship with food. So I'm not OCD like old Brittany would have been like, oh, I have to follow it exactly. It's like, no, if I'm gonna have a couple cookies tonight, so I'm just gonna take out some of my carbs or from other meals. So I'm reversing, gonna enjoy the holidays, and then when my body feels like pushing again, probably mid-January, I'm gonna start to really, really ramp up training. And then I have two options, which I'm just gonna see how I feel. My goal is to get a pro card, obviously ASAP. I'm qualified for the whole year because of placing at nationals to do shows. So there's two shows where I can get a pro card that are easier than nationals. So USA is in June, which is usually in Vegas. They top two get a pro card, so I could do that if I feel like it. That's in June, and I was thinking in May. I have your wedding. I have several weddings in May, and I'm like, I could also just spend 9 months building towards that pro physique. And then in November, there's the Amateur Olympia, which, very funny, I could not do the Amateur Olympia this year because I had my brother's wedding. But
Hmm.
the girl who I beat at Legions won and got her pro card. But me being me, I was like, I don't want the easy way. I want to earn this shit because I know there's a lot of people in bodybuilding that will get their pro card and then not do anything with it. I'm going to do it just like I did strongman. So I
Hmm.
kind of saw it was funny because I was reflecting when I did not get a pro card for strongman the year I should have. I trained the whole year, got it the next year, and then I jumped right into pro shows and was placing. So kind of like, you know what? That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to build a pro physique and going to win the pro card. when it's the right time for me, and then I'm going to go to pro shows. So
I
that's my
love that
plan.
mindset because I mean, either way, the goal is the same. You already are seeing you being a good pro. So, and like
Yeah,
winning pro shows. So why not build the pro physique right now? And when the pro car comes, it comes, and guess what? You're ready to just kill it. You don't have to go,
exactly.
oh shit, now I have to be even bigger for it's like either way, if you want to keep going to continue this, you're just put, build the package you need. So, man, I'm so, so excited for you. And I'm glad that you actually get to, well, you did well and were able to kind of enjoy Thanksgiving, but I'm glad you're able to just like relax, chill, bake some cookies, decorate some
Same,
cookies. But
same.
yeah, you totally deserve
Yeah.
this. And I'm so happy for you.
Yeah, thank you. And I think it's cool for anyone listening too. I don't know if this is me just being mature as an athlete, but I'm not worried. Like already, like I was up 10 pounds just in water from flying, and I'm already not worried about like I'm gonna lose my lines. I'm gonna be a lot softer, and it happens pretty rapidly as a female, especially once the estrogen comes back full blown. But it's cool because I think I'm approaching it now like a sport, not necessarily like a hobby. Like it's a sport, and you're not lean all the time, and that's cool. And I'm actually kind of excited to have some curves back. I get a little bit of a gut. That's where I hold my weight, but I'm excited to have a huge butt again. So
Yeah, yeah. Embracing every season. That's what
yes,
you got to
exactly.
do.
So
Oh,
thank you for asking me all those questions.
yeah, thank you for everything. I mean,
Yes.
it's been so fun to watch you kill everything. It's like super inspiring. So I'm sure you've inspired. And also just hearing your mindset helps me as an athlete.
Oh,
And it's going to help a lot
good.
of our clients and of our listeners too. So we just had the episode with Travis Ortmeyer, which we'll probably put this episode out first because it's so recent with
Okay.
your contest. But um, he said that, this is a common phrase, like you're a culmination of the five people you're around the most. And in my head, I was like, well, technically I'm around Brittany the most. So I'll be okay.
I feel the same way about you, girl.
Yeah.
So awesome. Thanks everyone
All right.
for
Thank you.
listening.
All
Bye.
right. Bye.